everyone, Kelly here, and today I want to talk about my April reading plans. So I have this issue where I have a tendency to start books, get out of the mood for them, or something else comes up and I start reading something else, and then I put aside that book. And I have gotten to where I've built up quite a lot of books that I have started that I'm either in the middle of, or maybe I'm only a few chapters in, and I've just kind of set them aside to do other things. And I just really feel like I need to clear out some of these books. I think most of these I will really enjoy. It's not like I set them aside because I wasn't enjoying them. It's just totally an attention thing. Like I just get distracted by other stuff and want to start everything all at once and then end up just forgetting I'm reading something. It happens a lot. So my plan for April is to be a finishing month. I pulled out all the books that I have started, and these are not even all of them that I have put aside, but these are all the ones that I feel like I could pick up without starting over again. There's some of these that I might have to go back a few chapters just to remind myself, but for the most part, these are ones that I don't have to restart from the beginning. I have probably about 5 to 7 other books that I have started that I am not including in this because I'm just going to start from the beginning on those books. And it is embarrassing. If you were to see this pile, I mean, you're going to see them, I'm going to show them to you, but seeing them as one pile, it's kind of embarrassing of how many things that I am in the middle of. And that is why I'm dedicating April to finishing books. I have made myself a rule that if I want to start a new book in April, I have to finish, I'm going to say 3 books, and then I could start a new one. But in total, I probably only want to start 3 new books. And that's just because I do a specific challenge with one of the Patreons I am a part of, where we read 3 books for a challenge, and they have to be books you have read in that month. So total, I only really want to start 3 new books for that challenge. But in order to start one of those challenge books, I have to finish 3 of these, if that makes sense. So there will be, at the end of the month, you'll see I'll have 3 that I have started fresh in April, but my goal is to just focus on books that I have already started. So I separate these out by books I started before this year, before 2024, and then books I started in January, February, March. We'll go through that way. So it is a very big stack of ones that I started before this year. I'm kind of put them in order of when I started. I don't remember. I'm not going to tell you because it just seems kind of a waste of time to tell you exactly when I started it, but you'll get to see the books and kind of how far I am. So the first one is In Order to Live by Yeonmi Park, and this is her memoir about leaving North Korea. And I had stopped this just because it's a very intense subject matter, and I just was oh, wait till I'm in the mood. Well, when are you ever in the mood to hear about the horrible things that have happened in someone's life? So I just need to read it because it was interesting. I was learning a lot from it, so I really do want to finish it. I got basically exactly halfway when I set it down. And then I have The Color of Compromise by Jamar Tisby. And this one I did pick back up in December and was buddy reading it with somebody and was going to finish it. And we made 2 more chapters, and then Christmas and all that holiday stuff happened. And so I would really want to finish this one. I only have, because a lot of this is notes at the end, so I really actually only have 2 chapters left, I think. Yeah, 2 chapters left. So that one I don't have much left in. Another nonfiction that I have is Jane Against the World, Roe v. Wade, and the Fight for Reproductive Rights by Karen Blumenthal. And I made it halfway through this. This one also has a bunch of notes on the end, so I'm actually more than halfway. I only have that much left. And the reason I put this down was because I was listening to it on an audiobook, and then all of a sudden the audiobook disappeared from all the libraries. I don't know if all the libraries I'm a part of just lost the rights to the audiobook or whatever. And it's just hard for me to switch once I've listened to something on audiobook to switch to physically reading it. But it's been a year and they haven't gotten the audio back at my library, as in it doesn't exist. Not that there's a wait, and actually they don't own it anymore. So I think I'm just gonna need to finish it in print and get that done. And then this is a book I think I started in middle grade March last year, Dealing with Dragons by Patricia C. Reedy. And what is that? A third of the way through. And yeah, it wasn't that I wasn't liking it. I was just feeling the pacing was very kind of slow on this one. And so I just have to go in again, remembering that the pacing is slow, but I don't want to start it over again because the pacing was slow. I don't think that I will start it over again. So I would like to finish that one. I think I'm going to do this on audio so that I can kind of push through the pacing issue I was having. And then one that was just a disappointment, and that's why I put it down, is Happy Place by Emily Henry. I've loved all of her other books, and I picked this one up as an advanced reader copy, and I got halfway through and was just not happy with with the book. I just was not having a good time. But you know, I only got halfway through, so maybe the second half will get better. A lot of people really liked this. It was in a lot of people's favorite of the year, so I figure I can I still have the audiobook from Libro FM, so I'm gonna try to finish that one on audiobook. And then I have Strange Sally Diamond by Liz Nugent, and this one I was really enjoying. This was another case of hard subject matter. So I was a third of the way through, something kind of popped up that I wasn't expecting, it wasn't in the synopsis, and I was like, oh, I don't know if I'm ready for that right now, and so I put it down. So that one's another one to pick back up. And then I have Happiness for Beginners by Catherine Center, and this one I put down because I just didn't love it compared to the movie, but I need to just view it as something else besides the movie, because I watched the movie first and then picked this up, and I didn't really like the first few chapters. But I've liked other Catherine Center books, so I think I just need to get past the fact that this is different. Think about it as completely different from the movie. Like I said, I only got 5 chapters into this one. And the next 3 are ones that I have already read before, and then last year I was picking them up to reread the first book in order to continue the series, and then didn't finish the reread of the first book. So I definitely don't need to start these over again because they're already rereads. I have A Curse So Dark and Lonely by Bridget Kimmerer. I made it over halfway through that one. I have Mistborn. I actually was buddy reading this with somebody, and she didn't have time to buddy read it anymore, which is why I put it down, but I had made it not quite halfway, so I can continue that one. I actually have that one on audiobook because my husband owns all the Brandon Sanderson audiobooks, so I might do that on audiobook to finish my reread of the first book. And then I have Graceling by Kristen Kishore, and this one over halfway. So these 3 are rereads that I just need to finish the reread and continue the series. I haven't read the rest of the series, so I want to reread the first. All right, so those were all the ones from before 2024. Now I have the ones I started in January. I have The Two Towers, which I am reading with my best friend, so there's a reason this is taking a while. It isn't like I put it down. We've been reading it, we're just taking our time, but we might finish this one in April because we always kind of speed up towards the second half of the book, so I think we could get through that one. And then In Darkling Wood, this one, I wouldn't have even put this in here because I only read 10 pages, but I was really enjoying it, so I would kind of like to just continue, even though I just barely started this one. There's other ones that I've gotten farther in, but I do think I want to continue that one while it's still fresh in my mind. I have The Best We Could Do by T. Bowie, which is a graphic memoir, and it's so silly because it should be fast to read a graphic memoir, but I just wasn't getting as absorbed in it as I thought I would, and that's why it was taking me a while, but it's still short enough I could finish this one quickly, so I'm not quite halfway in that one. Gathering Moss by Robin Wall Kimmerer is a scientific book about the history of mosses and some cultural relation to mosses. And this one, I think I've only read, only 3. These are essays, and I've only read 3 of the essays. So I'm also very much at the beginning of this one, but I like listening to this because I like to hear her voice. So I'll probably pepper this through the month and read maybe not finish this, but listen to several more of the essays, because this isn't the kind of thing I can speed through. As someone who's not super scientific, if I were to speed through this, I probably wouldn't get anything out of it, so I want to take my time with that. And then the last thing from January was Africa Risen, which was a collection of science fiction or speculative fiction stories, and I made it, that's almost more than halfway. But the problem was I wasn't loving a lot of these stories. So you could see I've been marking them. Those are the stories I really liked, and there's not that many markings. So I wasn't loving this, and there was part of me that was like, maybe I should DNF it. But then I think, well, what if, they're all by different authors. What if some of my favorite stories in this and new authors that I'm going to want to look into their other works, are in the second half of this book. So I feel bad DNFing something because of the authors in the first half, which is probably not a great way to like get myself to push through. But maybe I can do this similar to the Moss book, where I just I have an audiobook too. If I could just listen to a story, like 2 stories a week or 3 stories a week, I could get through more of it at least. Yeah, so that was the story behind that one. And then moving on to February, I ended up starting booktuber favorites. So I had my whole TBR for February was books that I had gotten like recommendations from people's favorite lists, and there were several I started, but then we got to the end of the month, middle grade March started, and I really wanted to just pick up middle grade, so I set these aside, and now I want to pick them back up. I have, this is a bind up, so the first book is called Shards of Honor by Lois McMaster Bejeweled, and I was really enjoying this. I was just reading it very slowly because it was like my nighttime book, so I need to like kind of pick up the pace a little bit. So I'm only 70 pages into this, but remember this is a bind up, so when you look at it as part of the first book, which is right here, it's not too bad. I made more progress than I thought. And then I have Legend Born by Tracy Dion. I was really liking this, but once again, I put it down for middle grade March, and so I got 100 and some pages. It's just a really thick book, but I was enjoying it, so I would like to pick that back up. And then I have Stone Blind by Natalie Haynes, and this is like a Medusa retelling, and I was also enjoying this one. I was listening to this on audiobook, which is narrated by the author, and my audiobook got returned, and so that was part of the reason I put this down, but I made it like a fourth of the way in and was enjoying it, so would like to pick that back up. And then my last stack is stuff that I started in March. We are still in March. Like when I'm recording this, I have 5 days left in March, so I will probably finish 1 or 2 of these before the end of the month, but I have time to film this now while my kids are playing outside in the snow, so I figured I'll just mention everything that I'm in the middle of right now, but knowing that I might finish some of these before April starts. So I have Nevermore by Jessica Townsend, about halfway through that one. This one is just, the pacing is a little off for me, so it's just taking me a long time to read it. I have Land of the Cranes by Aida Salazar, and this one is good, but once again, intense subject matter because it's about deportation and things like that. And so even though it's a middle grade book, it is a bit intense in terms of like making me feel a lot of feelings. So I've been taking my time with it. I'm still kind of closer to the beginning. I have Not Quite a Ghost by Anne Ursu, and I've been really enjoying this, but I don't know why I put it down to read some other things, and I've only gotten about a third of the way into that one. And that's middle grade horror. And then I have Alebrijes by Donna Barbara Higuera. I've only gotten 3 chapters into this one. So this is one I just started this week. I just haven't been reading a lot this week. So these 2 that I started, this one and the next one I'm talking about, I just haven't been reading a lot this week, and so that's why I'm taking my time with that, but I'm really enjoying it, even just 3 chapters in. And then the last one I just started was Layla and the Blue Fox by Karen Millwood Hargrave, and I've started this because I really just wanted the pictures, and I was just in the mood for some pretty pictures, so I just started this today, actually. So still towards the beginning of that one, and so those are all of the books I'm in the middle of. Like I said, I'll probably finish some of the March ones before April begins, but that's still a huge stack. It's kind of embarrassing to think about how many books I have started and not finished. Does anyone else do this? Does anybody else have like a big like attention problem when it comes to books, that you just want to read all the books, so you end up just like starting all the books and then forgetting what you started? It's a problem. I would really like to, I mean, it would be great if I could like finish half of these before the end of April, so that I could have a lot less of these like started books. I mean, if I could finish them all, that'd be great, but that's really not very realistic, right? Because even though some of them I've only gotten a few chapters in, so to think about finishing all of them is pretty unrealistic. But if I could finish half, that would be a great accomplishment and would very much lower my, it's not anxiety, it's not like I'm feeling anxious about it, it's just like I see them on my shelf of like, oh, I started that, I should finish it. And And I have like other things I want to do in May. So I know if I don't, what I don't finish now is probably not going to get finished in May, because I've already got plans for the May. So yeah, I would like to finish a lot of these. That's it. That's all I have to say. Those are my plans for April. Wish me luck. Hopefully I will finish a lot of these, and I'll see you next time. Bye.